time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah, refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah, refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I am your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. This week we're going to do the week 6 preview. Not preview, week 6 recap. Excuse me, apologies. We are going to preview tonight's game at the end of the episode because kickoff is in less than 2 hours. I will be on the main show tonight, so just going to briefly, I got the preview written up. I got all my recaps written up, so we're going to get into all that. But before we do that, I'd like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. Now, I'm going to go over the shows we got real quick for you guys. We got the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. Like I said, I will be on that show today. That's at 7 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays. We got BWT, Baseball with Teddy. He dropped an episode. Sorry, Teddy. I fell asleep on the Monday Night Football game. I didn't catch it. But baseball content through there. And as you can see, I got my Tigers hat on. Tigers win a crucial Game 2 in Cleveland. Now, the series is automatically going to go 4 games. Games 3 and 4 will be in Detroit. So Detroit will see 2 playoff games. It's already guaranteed 1, but they will see 2. So shout out my Tigers. Did it against Class A too. Next, we got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. He just went live this morning. All your fantasy football news and updates through there. Now, I'm not in fantasy, so I don't got to worry about me. But if you are part of fantasy football, maybe your team ain't doing so hot. Maybe you're looking for a sleeper. Check out FFC. We got Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. So highlights, Ashton Genty, an amazing front he's on right now. Lowlights, Kansas football team. Kansas with 1 win so far in the season. So there you go. There's the highlight, Genty, lowlight, Kansas. Boom, Dave's Doghouse. Next, we have Real Ballers Only, RBO featuring Vaughn, NBA content. Previews for the NBA season should be soon. So just be on the lookout for those. After that, we have Kings Talk, Sacramento Kings Talk with Joe Jordan. All your Sacramento Kings news through there. We have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. Boxing, all your boxing through there. So they just dropped the episode, I want to say Sunday. Yeah, I want to say they dropped the episode Sunday. And last but certainly not least, we have Unfazed featuring Joe and AJ. They should be on tonight at 9. So check them out. Football so far, all NFL heavy. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. So shout out to them boys there. But that's all the shows we got on the network. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you like what you're listening to, stick with us. But y'all know before, and I messed this up last week, before I get into these recaps, we got to do some poll talk. We got to talk about the new polls. And if you watched football Saturday, you saw that Alabama has been upset. So I'm going to pull the polls up on my phone. And as we talk about it, there is a new number 1. They're not technically new because they were number 1 before last week, but they're right back in the position I thought they rightfully should have been in the first place. Texas is back at the number 1 spot after Alabama took a loss to Vanderbilt. Alabama were 22.5-point favorites, I believe, against Vanderbilt on the road and took an L. I don't think they held the lead in that game. If they did, it was very minimum. I don't really remember Alabama holding the lead that long. I know Alabama. Vandy started off with a 14-0 lead. To be honest, Bama got dominated. It is what it is. Will it happen 9 times out of 10? Maybe not. But you just need 1. And they got the 1 dominate and win. Number 2 is Ohio State after dominating Iowa, which is a part of the recap. I shouldn't have previewed it. I almost didn't. But I was like, I have to. I just felt like I had to for some reason. I knew Ohio State was going to win in blowout fashion. 3, Oregon. After a blowout win against my MSU Spartans, seeing that coming, by the way. They're number 3, jump 3 spots. Penn State 4. So what's crazy? 2 through 4, all Big Ten now. You would say, Carl, Oregon's 3. How's it all Big Ten? Oregon's part of the Big Ten now. No Pac-12. Well, the Pac-12 is back on the rise. We'll talk about that more so in the offseason. But number 4 is Penn State. Shout out to them boys. They jumped up 3 spots. Number 5 is Georgia. They just solidified at 5 last week, 5 this week. 6, Miami. After surviving a scare in which we'll talk about that later, they survived the scare against Cal. They move up 2 spots to 6. 7 is Bama. They dropped from 1 to 7, obviously 6 spots. 8 is Tennessee. They dropped from 4 to 8. They dropped 4 spots. 9 is Ole Miss. They move up 3 spots after dominating South Carolina. Now, I didn't preview this game. I actually forgot to preview this game. I didn't do that on purpose. I forgot to write it down, and out of sight, out of mind. So, thank God the game became it wasn't good. The game wasn't good. Ole Miss dominated. They won 27-3. It wasn't even close. They dominated. So, I'm not mad that I forgot to preview it because I would have had to recap that BS. And, I'm a South Carolina fan. That hurt. Juice Wells was the leading receiver for Ole Miss. He got his quote-unquote revenge. I don't know if that was the reason why he left, but he did his thing against us. The train, Cousinar in the tournament did his thing against South Carolina too. But yeah, I don't have to talk about that game. But yeah, Ole Miss moves up to 9, right back in that playoff race. 10 is Clemson. 10 is Clemson after beating Florida State. Now, they didn't beat them as convincingly as I thought they should. I thought they would go over 40. They didn't do it. Not because their offense is so good, but because I thought their defense would give them shorter fields to do it. I don't agree with Clemson being over Iowa State at 11. I feel like Iowa State should be in the top 10. Undefeated, dominating performance against Baylor. Like, they were down early. They were down 14-zip early. Came back, ended up winning by 22. I think they should be over Clemson. Notre Dame is tied at 11, which, come on, bro. Just put Notre Dame at 12. I hate these ties. Who's 11? Who's 12? Come on. Come on. What are we doing? I think Notre Dame should be 12. No, actually, I take that back. I think LSU should be 12. I think BYU. No, I take that back. I think BYU should be 12. I think LSU should stay at 13. I think Notre Dame should be 14 because Texas A&M's at 15 right behind them. That's how I think it should be. But how it actually is Notre Dame is tied for 11, so they're going to get the 11 by the name. I hate it. 13 is LSU. 14 is BYU. LSU, I forgot who LSU just. I think LSU was on a bye week, to be honest. I don't remember them playing this week. BYU, I also think they won a bye week. I don't remember them playing this week either. Yeah, they won a bye week. LSU won a bye week. Yep. Okay, cool. 15. Texas A&M jumps up 10 spots from 25 to 15 after dominating Mizzou. Not too mad at that. Only reason why I'm not too mad at it is because Connor Wegman was back, and the offense looked brilliant. Offense looked real brilliant. Punched Mizzou in the mouth. Mizzou cannot respond. I will talk about that game in a minute. 16, Utah. Not mad there. They move up 2 spots. I think they came off a bye week. Hopefully Cam Rising is back from them boys because they got a little ways to go in this Big 12 with 1 loss. 17, Boise State. Not going to talk about the game. Obviously, y'all know who's going to be my major performer. And it was only in a half. So he's just insane. This pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. A 3-way tie for 18. A 3-way tie for 18. Are we serious right now, AP poll? Come on, man. Like, the computers cannot be generating a 3-way tie 18. That's just insane. Who's 18? Who's 19? Who's 20? Let's keep it pushing. But the 3-way tie 18 is Indiana, Oklahoma, Kansas State. In my opinion, Indiana should be clear-cut 18 out of these 3. 19 should be K-State. I'm sorry. And 20 should be Oklahoma. That's just in my opinion. 21, Mizzou drops 12 spots after getting dominated. Pitt is finally ranked. I said it Saturday when Pitt won. They're undefeated. They should be ranked. They got quality wins. North Carolina might not be as quality as a lot of people think, but that was a quality win on the road. Then you got the backyard brawl. That's a super quality win. And the comeback win against Cincinnati, which is also a quality win. 3 quality wins, in my opinion, for Pitt. Now they're ranked. Illinois is 23. Michigan should be unranked, in my opinion, but they're 24th. And SMU jumps back into the rankings. I believe they started off ranked. No, they didn't. So SMU is actually ranked for the first time this year. I thought the first game against Nevada they were ranked. But Michigan, absolutely, in my opinion, should be unranked. USC should be unranked. I think Nebraska should be ranked again. 5-1, just beat a good Rutgers team who was undefeated. I think Nebraska should have jumped at 25, SMU at 24 after beating 22nd ranked Louisville. I wouldn't have been mad at that. So here's some quarrels. I think Indiana should be above both Utah and Boise State. Indiana should be 16. I'm not mad that they're behind Texas A&M because Indiana, though they do have some good wins, they're not that quality in my opinion. UCLA's are looking to be more and more like a decent win, but that was a blowout. Maryland, in my opinion, is a good win. Northwestern, in my opinion, is a good win. But the UCLA win doesn't look as good anymore. I'm cool with Oklahoma and Kansas State being in that 18, 9 through 20 area. For real, my only quarrels is Michigan should be unranked. I'm sorry. Nebraska should be back ranked because that defense is ferocious. And I mean, I know Raiola this year, second half has not been great, but I think this offense is pretty good. And like I said, they just beat our undefeated Rutgers. Clemson should not be in front of Iowa State. That's pretty much it. But that's it for poll talk. Let's get into these recaps, starting with Friday night. And Friday night started off with a blowout. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't like they blew them out from the start. They were starting to blow them out, but then big plays kept Kennesaw State back in this game. Jacksonville State ended up winning 63-24. That's mainly in part to the second half of the game. But we'll get into it. So Kennesaw State starts with a 3-and-out punt. Jack State starts with a 1-yard trace to a touchdown run, set about 25-yard trace to a run. Excuse me. Kennesaw State was then scored a 25-yard field goal. Then with 14:33 left in the second quarter, Jack State will have a turnover on downs, 4th and 3, pass is incomplete. That would lead to a Davis Bryson interception. We talked about those Davis Bryson interceptions, and that would lead to a 6-yard Tyler Huff, touchdown run. Now, I know on the broadcast they talked about how Tyler Huff played against these boys when he was at Furman, and it looked similar. It looked very similar. This game looked very similar when Tyler Huff was at Furman, and he did what he did to Kennesaw State. But after the touchdown, Jack State would then score a 9-yard trace to a touchdown run, set up by Cam Vaughn, 26-yard catch. Kennesaw State will return the ensuing kickoff. Quay Ashley, 93-yard kickoff return, just electric, keeps Kennesaw State in the game. And then right after that, Michael Petaway would fumble the next possession for Jack State, and that would lead to a 7-yard Carson Kidd touchdown catch. It was a beautiful play design. Quarterback rolls left, throwback right, touchdown. And then Jack State would get their 39-yard field goal blocked before the half. Now, that was kind of controversial. Jack State didn't have nobody move. They got called for illegal formation, false start, one of those, because not everybody on the line was set. They called it false start, but I don't think that's technically false start. I think that's more so like illegal motion or something like that because not everybody was set. Everybody looked set to me. The field goal was good, but because of the penalty, they moved back 5 yards, then they got blocked. So it is what it is. But that led to halftime. Then Jack State would start the second half with the Tyler Huff 14-yard touchdown run set up by Cam Vaughn 19-yard catch. Kennesaw State would start the second half with a Davis Bryson interception, which would lead to a 1-yard trace to a touchdown run. Jack State would score a 19-yard Tyler Huff touchdown run set up by Jacob Barrett 20-yard catch. Kennesaw State would then throw a pick six to Jabari Mack. Davis Bryson threw that. Kennesaw State would then finally score a 1-yard Michael Benefield touchdown run set up by Michael Benefield 59-yard run. Jack State would score a 1-yard trace to a touchdown run set up by a 41-yard Tyler Huff run. And then Kennesaw State's Caleb Johnson would get sacked and fumbled, which would lead to a 23-yard Mike Franklin touchdown run, and that'd be your ball game. But like I said, man, second half, Jack State dominated. Only gave up 7 points as a defense in the second half while scoring 7 points of their own as a defense. Then Trey Stewart and Tyler Huff became unstoppable in the second half for Jack State. Absolutely dominated Kennesaw State in all areas, aspects of the game in the second half. So shout out to Jack State, man. Second win of the year, 2-3, 1-0 in Conference USA play. Let's make a run, Jack State. I was going to wear my shirt, but I had to represent the Tigers today, so I did not wear my shirt. But we move to Houston gaining an upset win over TCU. Now, Houston was supposed to flip-flop Donovan Smith and Zion Chris. I thought they would start with Donovan Smith, to be honest. But they started with Zion Chris, and because Zion Chris plays so good, they didn't do it. They just rolled with Zion Chris the whole game. Now, they did one drive go Donovan Smith, which I don't know why, but Zion Chris got basically the reign keys to the offense. Now, Houston did win, like I said, 30-19. TCU. I came on here after Josh Hoover's first 3 weeks, and I said my only issue with Josh Hoover was the turnovers, but he didn't have none, so I'm in on him. He's proceeded to have 3 games with 2 interceptions, and I'm not talking about 2 picks in 3 games. No, I mean 2 picks in each of the last 3 games. Josh Hoover has now become a turnover machine once again. It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't get where it comes from. I mean, I get it. Last year he was there, but I thought he was over it. I guess not. I guess he was just on a good 3-game streak, and I don't know. But Josh Hoover, you gotta come on, man. I was ready. I was sold, and now you're making me regret my decision, Josh. And you got the talent. It's not the talent. Jack Beck, Savion Williams, J.P. Richardson. Those are electric receivers. You gotta stop turning the ball over, Josh. But let's get into the game. Houston starts with a turnover on downs, 4th and 4, passes incomplete. That was Zion Chris drive. I wrote Zion Chris in parentheses. And that would lead to a turnover downs for TCU, 4th and 1, a failed quarterback sneak, which they just made it so obvious. They hurried up, got to the line. I don't even think it was like a 4th and 1. I think it was like a 4th and 1.5. I was like, what y'all doing? This is obvious. They don't get no push, fail. Leads to an 8-yard Devin Williams touchdown catch for Houston. TCU, Josh Hoover would throw his first pick, which would lead to a 2-yard Rashawn Sanford touchdown run. Then Josh Hoover would throw his second pick, which would lead to a punt. And Houston would then score a 34-yard field goal the next time they touch the ball. TCU would score a 21-yard Savion Williams touchdown catch, set up by J.P. Richardson 25-yard catch, but the point after would be no good. Houston would then score a 71-yard Zion Chris touchdown run. I think that was like a 2nd or 3rd down. I can't remember. Just a design run, took up off the middle, made a move, and he was gone. Nobody close. TCU would start the second half with a punt. Houston would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. TCU would then score a 2-yard Jeremy Payne touchdown run, set up by a defensive pass interference, but the 2-point would be no good. J.P. Richardson would fumble, which would lead to a 28-yard field goal. TCU would score a 29-yard Jack Beck touchdown catch, set up by a face mask, and then Houston would score a 27-yard field goal. That was the Donovan Smith drive. And then TCU's Josh Hoover would fumble, which would lead to the end of the game. So Houston's first half really put them in position for their second half, because their second half, they didn't really do much. They scored a field goal. That was really about it. TCU dominated the second half, but the game was well in reach by then. I won't say it was well in reach. They just didn't do enough. It was I think it was like 27-7 at halftime or something crazy like that. TCU them boys got dominated and turnovers killed them. 2 picks, a fumble. It's just turnovers, man. And they could not stop Houston's offense. I think let me look at the numbers for sure, but I'm pretty sure Houston was over 50% on 3rd down. I just want to look just to be 100% sure. I think at one point Houston was like 60% at 6 of 10. Houston was never mind. So I might be remembering the wrong game. They were 5 of 13. But they couldn't. They honestly, my apologies, but they honestly could not stop Houston's offense. Houston gains a major win under Willie Fritz. We go on to a game I don't want to talk about. Shout out my boy Chris. My boy Chris, he said, my boy, what's good with you? What's good with you, my boy? I'm over here just trying to knock this college out real quick before the main show tonight. Game I don't want to talk about, but it got to be talked about because, I seen it coming. MSU loses to Oregon 31-10 on the road. Them 10 points, garbage points. I'm going to just let that be known right now. Those were garbage time points. We really had 0 throughout the entire game. Then, we just scored at the end. Oregon dominated us in all fashions, even with 2 turnovers by Dylan Gabriel, 2 dumb turnovers by Dylan Gabriel, by the way. Still couldn't do nothing with him because we had the goofy turnover of Aiden Childs continues. Yes, he did not throw a pick. Congrats. I am actually genuinely happy he finally would have game against a FBS opponent and did not throw a pick. I'm genuinely happy about that. But he fumbled at the 2-yard line. We had a chance to go up 7-zip, early, get some huge momentum, completed a deep ball, beautiful ball to Nick Marsh, and he fumbled at the 2, and it's not like he got popped. It's not like they punched the ball out. Basic tackle, he dropped the ball. Oregon recovers. It's just the goofy turnovers. But let's talk about the game. Oregon starts with a 3-and-out punt. MSU starts with an Aiden Childs fumble. This is the fumble at the 2-yard line. But that would lead to a Dylan Gabriel interception. But that would just lead to a 3-and-out punt because, again, our offense, the momentum was gone. We had the momentum. Momentum was gone. Oregon would score a 9-yard Dylan Gabriel touchdown run set up by Trayshawn Holden 37-yard catch. Now, I believe this is the catch where it just showed how accurate Dylan Gabriel can be on his throw because Trayshawn Holden fell. He had a touchdown, he fell, and the ball still landed to where he could just catch the ball. I don't even think he extended his arms for real. Just a perfectly thrown ball. Then Dylan Gabriel throw an interception again in the red zone, which will lead to a punt. But then Oregon rely heavy on that run game. Jordan James, a 3-yard touchdown run set up by Jordan James, 17-yard run. Then Oregon would score a 9-yard Evans Stewart touchdown catch set up by Tej Johnson, 17-yard catch. MSU would start the second half with a punt. Oregon would start the second half with a 50-yard field goal. Oregon would score a 2-yard Tej Johnson touchdown catch set up by Tej Johnson, 17-yard catch. MSU would score a 1-yard K'Ron Lynch Adams touchdown run set up by Montori Foster, 35-yard catch, and then MSU would score a 42-yard field goal at the end of the game. But that's your ball game. But like I said, Oregon, they got the running game going. Dylan Gabriel, despite 2 bad red zone picks, they still won the game. Yeah, man. MSU. We on Murderers Row right now. MSU, we played who did we play last week? Ohio State. We got blown out by Ohio State last week. Got blown out by Oregon this week. We do play Iowa next week. Got a bye week this week. Iowa is next week. And then after Iowa, we go see them boys up north. We go see about them boys up north. As y'all know, I got the CTC bet. If Michigan beats Michigan State, I got to come on here with a Michigan shirt and do a whole episode wearing a Michigan shirt. If they don't, then my dad got to do something in an MSU shirt, which that's not really fair because he actually owns MSU shirts and has worn MSU shirts out in public. Because of me, I think I got to tweak the bet a little bit because, like, that's low-key a lose-lose for me. I don't want to wear nothing Michigan, especially on this platform. He's fine with wearing MSU stuff. He got MSU stuff in his house because of me, so I got to call him and tweak that bet. But I digress. We move on to an upset that happened Friday night. Oh, I didn't tell y'all who I picked in these games. My bad. Because I picked Jack State to beat Kennesaw State. That's right. I picked TCU to beat Houston. That was wrong. I picked Oregon to beat MSU. That was right. I got to look at my preview books. I don't remember. I think I picked UNLV to win, but Syracuse to keep it close, and I was wrong. I think that's what I did pick. Oh, my preview book down here. Preview book right here. Saturday. So right here. Yeah, I picked UNLV to win, but I picked Syracuse to keep it close. And Syracuse won outright. Syracuse won 44-41 in overtime. This was a shootout. This was an amazing game, back and forth. Just a perfect Friday night game, especially because MSU and Oregon was not good. But, yeah, Syracuse ended up winning the game. LaQuint Allen, 4 total touchdowns. Amazing night by him. UNLV offered me defense. I can't remember if they had a turnover. I can't remember if they had a turnover. Like, the special teams came and got some plays, but I don't remember UNLV defense causing a turnover, which is uncharacteristic of a UNLV defense of late. They've been very opportunistic, but Syracuse did a good job of the offense protecting the ball. Now, special teams, different story. UNLV, on the other hand, I think they threw 1 interception. Maybe, yeah, he threw 1 interception. It was just a good game. All around, great game. Let's talk about it. UNLV will start with a 3-and-out punt. Syracuse will start with a 9-yard LaQuint Allen touchdown catch set up by Trevor Pena, 31-yard catch, which I like Trevor Pena, man. Trevor Pena and Arundé Gaston are 2 really good players that I feel like people don't give them credit or people don't know about. Arundé Gaston being a tight end for Syracuse, Trevor Pena being a wide receiver for Syracuse. I really like those 2 guys, and I think they've been really key for Cal McCord at Syracuse. Syracuse would then score a 3-yard LaQuint Allen touchdown run set up by Arundé Gaston, 39-yard catch. UNLV would then score a 6-yard Kalu Bollinger touchdown reception set up by Jada Thomas, 42-yard run. Then UNLV would score a 3-yard Haj Malik Williams touchdown run set up by Ricky White, 53-yard catch, where Ricky White had a day. Boy, did Ricky White have a day. Shout out Ricky White, man, former Spartan. Syracuse would then botch a punt, which would lead to a 9-yard Casey Kane touchdown catch. Syracuse would then score a 21-yard field goal. So the score was 21-17 at half. Syracuse would start the second half with a 6-yard LaQuint Allen touchdown catch set up by Yazin Willis 26-yard run. UNLV would start the second half with a Haas Malik Wilson interception, which would lead to a 21-yard Yazin Willis touchdown run. UNLV would score a 20-yard field goal. Then Syracuse punt was blocked by Ricky White. Like I said, he had a day. Recovered in the end zone for a UNLV touchdown. Syracuse. So Cal McCoy did throw a pick. My apologies. He did throw one. Cal McCoy threw a pick, leads to a 9-yard Ricky White touchdown catch. Syracuse would score a 6-yard Jackson Meeks touchdown catch set up by Jackson Meeks 18-yard catch. Then in overtime, UNLV would settle for a 41-yard field goal, and that would not be enough because Syracuse on their possession would score a 1-yard LaQuint Allen touchdown run, and that'd be a ball game. Like I said, special teams for UNLV, they did their thing. Got the block punt by Ricky White, the bot snap. UNLV made plays special teams. Defense, they did get one turnover, but this defense has been way more opportunistic than one turnover. Like I said, they had 3-4 against Kansas. They had like 3 picks against Houston. They've been real opportunistic, and Syracuse did a good job offensively limiting turnovers. Ricky White, he had a day. Ricky White ended up with a block punt, a receiving touchdown, and he ended up with wrong one. He ended up with 135 yards. So Ricky White had a day for UNLV. But we're done with Friday night. We'll move on to Saturday night, or not Saturday night, but Saturday period. And we got to start with the blowout that was Mizzou at Texas A&M. 9th-ranked Mizzou absolutely gets destroyed by 25th ranked, tied 25th ranked. That absolutely made me upset too last week. Texas A&M 41-10. Like I said, Connor Wegman, he played, and that offense looked brilliant. It looked really good, actually. It surprised me how good that offense looked. Came out and just was dominant. They got to stop first play. Now, the turnover on downs was a questionable no call on the pass interference, but I didn't think it was PI. The announcers thought it was PI. I didn't think so. I just thought they were hand fighting. It happens. Shout out to Will Lee. Will Lee, cornerback for Texas A&M, nicknamed the Blanket. He sent Theo Weiss Jr. a blanket, a Texas A&M blanket, and he told him something along the lines of stay warm or get used to it because this is how it's going to be Saturday. And he sent them a picture of him warming up in practice with the blanket and the card. And he held him to 0 catches in the first half. Bro had no catches in the first half. And Will Lee was traveling. It was crazy to see. Will Lee did his thing at cornerback. I love it. He talked the trash and he backed it up. So shout out Will Lee. Let's talk about the game. So Mizzou starts with a turnover down, 4-2. Like I said, pass is incomplete. Leads to a 1-yard Amari Daniels touchdown run. Texas A&M scores a 44-yard field goal. Texas A&M scores a 1-yard Amari Daniels touchdown run set up by Le'Veon Moss 17-yard catch. Texas A&M scores a 1-yard Le'Veon Moss touchdown run set up by Jade Walker 40-yard catch. Texas A&M starts the second half with a 75-yard Le'Veon Moss touchdown run. Then Mizzou starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Texas A&M scores a 38-yard field goal. Mizzou finally scores a 59-yard Theo Weiss Jr. touchdown catch set up by Nate Noel 15-yard run. Mizzou 4th and 19 passes incomplete leads to an 18-yard Le'Veon Moss touchdown run. Mizzou 4th and 11 passes incomplete leads to a punt, and then Mizzou scores a 23-yard field goal to end the ball game. Like I said, blowout from the jump. Mizzou scored 10 garbage points, but Texas A&M just had their number all day. It got ugly early, and then with the whole Will Lee situation, it just made it that much crazier. So shout out to Texas A&M. Next, we got SMU. Oh, by the way, I did pick Mizzou to win that game. So I was wrong there. The morning kicked my behind. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got one game right in the morning, and it wasn't this next one. SMU Louisville. I picked Louisville to win because they were at home, and I wanted to stay true to my preseason prediction. Plus, I wasn't sure how SMU would come out with Kevin Jennings and stuff still. I'm still not sold on the physicality of SMU, and it kind of clouds my judgment a little bit, I guess. But SMU won 34-27 against ranked Louisville at home. On the road, excuse me. Offensive shootout. It got slow late, and honestly, SMU scored their final touchdown on some controversy. Rashard Smith I think he fumbled. They ended up saying he didn't fumble. I think they actually overturned it too, which is crazy. I thought he fumbled and Louisville recovered. Officials thought otherwise, and they scored a touchdown. Louisville, Tyler Shuck throws a pick at the end of the game, and that's how SMU beats Louisville. But let's talk about it a little bit. So SMU starts with a 5-yard Roger Daniels touchdown run, set up by Roger Daniels 33-yard catch. Louisville starts with a 6-yard Ja'Cory Brooks touchdown catch, set up by Amari Huggins Bruce 58-yard catch. Now you might be wondering, Amari Huggins Bruce was supposed to be in South Carolina. He was supposed to transfer there, and I guess he actually backed out of it. However that works, and he ended up bouncing back to Louisville. So, boom, there you go. SMU will score a 10-yard Keyshawn Smith touchdown catch. Set up that was thrown by Preston Stone, by the way. Set up by RJ Maryland 31-yard catch. Louisville will score a 46-yard field goal. With 6:46 left in the second quarter, SMU scores a 59-yard Kevin Jennings touchdown run, set up by Keyshawn Smith, 16-yard catch. Louisville would then score a 41-yard field goal. Then SMU would score a 55-yard field goal. Louisville will start the second half with a 1-yard Donald Chaney touchdown run, set up by Isaac Brown, 58-yard run, or 50. I think that's actually 53. SMU will start the second half with a 43-yard field goal. Louisville will score a 86-yard Ja'Cory Brooks touchdown catch. That was so he had 3 catches on the day, 2 of them for touchdowns. SMU misses a 50-yard field goal, which will lead to a turnover on downs, 4th and 1. Donald Chaney run for no gain, which will lead to a SMU 3-and-out punt. Then SMU will score a 1-yard LJ Johnson touchdown run. Again, this was on the Brashard Smith controversial run. The run was for 19 yards. I thought he fumbled. Again, they didn't think he fumbled. And then Louisville's Tyler Shuck will throw a pick, which will lead to the end of the game. Again, like I said, I already basically described how I felt about the game. Offensive shootout. It's just SMU was able to score the final touchdown. Louisville threw a pick. Basically, SMU got to stop when needed. Louisville technically didn't. So, shout out SMU. The next game I got to talk about. I'm sorry, Anthony Calandria. I'm so sorry. I bet it. I literally bet against Anthony Calandria. I bet it on FanDuel and lost. But it was because Boston College's defense. I didn't think Boston College defensively was going to be able. Not Boston College defense. Backtrack. UVA's defense. I did not think UVA's defense was going to be able to stop Boston College, but UVA gave up 2 early touchdowns, and that was it. That was it for Boston College. This game was won because of UVA's defense. UVA defense got a pick late game, got a fumble, scoop and score late game. Now the scoop and score was freakish. It's not like they hit Thomas Castellanos and he lost the ball. He literally just lost the ball. And who was the other one? No, I think they got 2 picks. Then they got 2 picks and a fumble. So UVA defense did their thing. Shout out Chico Bennett and the boys. Jonas Sanker, I believe, is the one who Jonas Sanker is the one that got the scoop and score. Yeah, Chico Bennett got a pick. Jonas Sanker got the scoop and score. I think Jonas Sanker also had an interception. Somebody else got an interception. But nonetheless, Calandria just made the play to Malachi Fields, nonetheless, when needed most. UVA defense won them this game. UVA starts with a punt. Boston College will start with a 7-yard Jaden Skeet touchdown catch, which he had a couple catches on that drive, but that was set up by Kamari Morales' 34-yard catch. With 13:08 left in the second quarter, BC scores a 29-yard Kamari Morales touchdown catch, set up by Reed Harris' 27-yard catch. And like I said, man, that was it. 2 early touchdowns, and that was it. UVA would score a 25-yard field goal. Then they would score a 33-yard field goal. And then Boston College would start the second half with a punt. UVA would start the second half with a turnover on downs, 4th and goal. The pass is incomplete, but that would lead to a punt. UVA would score a 27-yard field goal. Boston College's Thomas Castellano would throw his first interception, which would lead to that 30-yard pass I was telling you about to Malachi Fields. Then Thomas Castellanos would fumble, leading to the Jonas Sanker scoop and score. Then Thomas Castellano, 4th and 1 pass is incomplete, which would lead to the 47-yard field goal miss, which would lead to Castellanos' last interception, and that would lead to the end of the ball game. So, sorry, Calandria. Come back, Calandria. Kind of strikes again because of the pick, he was able to throw the go-ahead touchdown. He threw a go-ahead touchdown. Yeah, he threw the go-ahead touchdown. Then I got the scoop and score. Why am I? Yeah, he got the go-ahead touchdown. It just don't make no sense in my head. 9. Oh, yeah, they 9, 17 because they went for 2 and got it. Scoop and score. Boom. And then fumble. No, that still don't make no sense in my head. Hold on, I'm tripping. 9 and 14. Oh, because they missed the field goal. Okay, I'm tripping. All right, don't worry about it. He threw the go-ahead touchdown. That's all y'all need to know. Next, in the final game, the only game I got right in the morning, Pitt at UNC. I did pick Pitt. I actually don't understand how. Oh no, never mind. That's a different conversation. That's a gambling conversation me and Ace had. Never mind. But I did pick to win. They won 35-24 on the road. Another big win for Pitt. One game away from being bowl eligible. I think they should get that. Pitt starts with a 24-yard field goal. UNC starts with a 3-and-out punt. Pitt, Eli Holstein throws a pick six. And when he threw that pick six, I was like, oh my God, this is because I bet on them hunks. I did bet Pitt to win on FanDuel. I was like, oh, this because I bet on him. Pitt was driving. Then they were even in the red zone. He threw a bad pass outside. Cornerback dropped it and was gone. UNC turn one down, 4-2, pass incomplete, leads to a 7-yard Sincere lead touchdown catch. UNC would score a 34-yard field goal. Pitt would score a 30-yard Raphael Williams touchdown catch, set up by Desmond Reed, 23-yard catch. With 42 seconds left in the second half, in the second quarter, UNC would score a 3-yard Marion Hampton touchdown run, set up by Kobe Peso, a 23-yard catch. Pitt. No, I'm tripping. Hold on. I've read two things at once. UNC starts the second half with the turnover downs 4-6. The pass is incomplete, which leads to a 2-yard Desmond Reed touchdown catch. With 2:07 left in the third quarter, UNC scores an 11-yard John Copenhaver touchdown catch, 11-yard touchdown catch, set up by Davion Gauss, 15-yard run. Pitt scores a 3-yard Eli Holstein touchdown run, set up by Eli Holstein, 24-yard run. UNC turnover downs 4-1 on Marion Hampton run for no game leads to a 37-yard field goal will put the game out of reach. Then they have another turnover downs 4-2. Jacoby Criswell is sacked, which leads to the end of the game. This was actually another offensive game. Now, UNC not so much because 7 of their 24 points was a pick six, but their offense was moving the ball down the field in the first half. Pitt defense kind of stepped up in the second half. Pitt was moving the rock. But I think Pitt was just a better team, better offense, and they proved it. We got some blowouts coming up, but I got a comment real quick. He said, yes, I picked UNC. Shame me. Nah, I was going because of that conversation, I was remembering in my head. I was about to say, I don't know how Pitt was the dogs, but I remember the sheet picked UNC. So that's why I was like, oh, wrong conversation. I was about to say that. No, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm 1-3 in the mornings. Look, I get you. But next, we got to talk about the game that I shouldn't have previewed, but I decided to anyway. Oh, it's not on this book. It's not in this book, so this book is all filled up. This book, Iowa 7 at Ohio State 35. Blowout, just like I thought. Iowa don't have no offense. They scored a garbage touchdown literally at the end of the game. Really got shut out if it wasn't for that one touchdown. Ohio State, they actually took a lot of time off the clock to score in the first half. Second half is second half is where the blowout ensued. Wasn't really a blowout in the first half. Second half, Ohio State took off. Not much to say about this game. We're just gonna talk about it, keep it moving. Iowa starts with a punt. Obviously, they did not score in the first half. Ohio State starts with a 14-yard Emeka Egbuka touchdown catch. Iowa misses a 51-yard field goal, leads to a turnover and downs 4-2. Will Howard 1-yard rush, which would just lead to a 3-and-out punt. Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith would fumble, which would lead to a punt. But with 1:07 left in the second quarter, Will Howard would throw an interception, which would lead to halftime. So 7-zip at half. Then Ohio State would start the second half with a 4-yard Jeremiah Smith touchdown catch set up by Jeremiah Smith, 53-yard catch. And these freshmen are making crazy plays. One hand catch in the end zone. These freshmen and Jeremiah Smith and Wyatt Williams are making crazy plays, man. Iowa would start the second half with a Cade McNamara fumble, which would lead to a 4-yard Will Howard touchdown run. Then Iowa's Cade McNamara would throw a pick, leading to a 15-yard Emeka Egbuka touchdown catch. Then Iowa's Cade McNamara would fumble yet again, leading to a 3-yard Emeka Egbuka touchdown catch. Then Iowa scored a 28-yard Caleb Johnson touchdown run set up by Brendan Sullivan 30-yard run. And that'd be a ball game. 3 straight turnovers, 3 straight touchdowns. You're already Iowa. You already have bad offense. You can't afford extra possessions, especially to a team like Ohio State. Cost you the ball game. Lack of offense costs you lots of ball games. Let's just be clear. But I digress. We'll move on to my MAC championship pick, taking a slug. By the way, I did pick Ohio State to win that game. I am not stupid. And they won. Jeremiah Smith looking like a first rounder as a freshman. So is Ryan Williams. It's crazy what these freshmen is doing at the receiver position. They looking like clear cut first round picks. They better win a natty within the first 3 years. They are not coming back for a senior year. That is facts. But yeah, my MAC champion took an L to Toledo, which I said this could be a MAC championship preview. I don't know no more, man. I kind of feel like I picked the wrong MAC champ. I think the MAC championship might come down to maybe Ohio and Toledo at this point. But we'll talk about the game. I would say, how would I describe this? Miami of Ohio made too many mistakes as always, and Toledo capitalized. But when Miami of Ohio weren't really making mistakes, Toledo wasn't really doing much. They did some good things, but they weren't doing much. So that's how I categorize the game. Miami of Ohio just doing things to beat themselves. So talk about it. Miami of Ohio starts with a punt. Toledo starts with a Tucker Gleason fumble recovery, basically in the end zone. Started by Jaden Botton, 14-yard catch. Miami of Ohio punt block leads to a 5-yard Juwan Newton touchdown catch. Miami of Ohio 26-yard field goal. Then Toledo's Tucker Gleason would throw an interception leading to a punt. Toledo would score a 21-yard field goal. Miami of Ohio would score a 35-yard field goal. Then Toledo's Tucker Gleason would throw a pick again, but that would lead to a 3-and-out punt. Toledo scores a 48-yard field goal. Toledo will start the second half with a 47-yard field goal. Miami of Ohio will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. With 24 seconds left in the third quarter, Miami of Ohio scores a 9-yard Kevin Davis touchdown catch set up by Javon Tracy, 22-yard catch. Toledo will score a 1-yard Anthony Torres touchdown catch set up by Connor Wollendiziak, 32-yard run. Miami of Ohio will score a 3-yard Javon Tracy touchdown catch set up by Javon Tracy, 23-yard catch. Miami of Ohio will have a failed onside kick, but that would lead to a punt, and then Brett Gabbert would, of course, in Brett Gabbert fashion, throw a pick, which will lead to the end of the game. Yeah, nothing much to say. Miami of Ohio mistakes costing them ball games. It's been a trend all year so far, in my opinion. And we'll just move on to the final game I had in the 3:30 window, which is Rutgers versus Nebraska, which was kind of, I would say for the majority of this game, defensive football. Rutgers had crazy, I would say stupid decisions. There was some sloppy football mixed in this for Rutgers as well, but the fake field goal to start, I completely disagree, went nowhere. I just take your points. In a defensive battle, you got to take your points. In a game where you might have to rely on Ethan Kelly-Agmanis, you got to take your points. And Greg Schiano did not. We had a drop touchdown. Ben Black that would have possibly tied the game up. We had a block punt that ended up going backwards. Like they got the ball in great field position. Ended up doing nothing. It's just a lot in this ball game. The final score ended up being 14-7. Nebraska. I did pick Nebraska to win. So I went 2-1 in the 3:30 slot. I did pick Toledo to beat Miami of Ohio. No, I picked Miami of Ohio to beat Toledo, excuse me. But yeah, I picked Nebraska to beat Rutgers. So let's talk about it. Nebraska will start with a block punt. They got a punt block. That would lead to a turnover down 4th and 4 because, again, the fake punt, Timmy Ward, run for no gain. That would lead to a 1-yard Dante Dowdle touchdown run. With 10:31 left in the second quarter, Rutgers would miss a 52-yard field goal, which would lead to a Dylan Raiola interception, which would lead to an Ethan Kelly-Agmanis interception, which would lead to a Janarian Bonner 11-yard touchdown run. And that'd be it for Nebraska. No more points. Rutgers, Ethan Kelly-Agmanis interception leads to a punt. Rutgers will start the second half with a punt. Nebraska will start the second half with a block punt, but that would lead on to a turnover on downs, 4 for 2, passes incomplete. And then with 4:15, so it was a bunch of punts in between what I'm just saying and what I'm about to say. 4 minutes and 15 left in the fourth quarter. Rutgers scores an 11-yard Ben Black touchdown catch. Then final game, the drive of the game. Rutgers turnover downs, 4 for 10, passes incomplete, leads to the end of the game. Now, before the Ben Black touchdown catch for 11 yards, he had Nebraska burnt on a deep ball and dropped it. Just flat out dropped it. Nobody near him dropped it. Rutgers had so many mistakes. Rutgers should have won the ball game. Missed field goals. Block punch leading to nothing. Fake field goal for no reason. Drop touchdown. Rutgers just did everything to lose the game. And Nebraska won. So shout out Nebraska. Believe they're 5-1. 4-1, 5-1. I know they got one loss. Now, to the night slate. which only got one game wrong on the night slate, and that's the game I'm about to talk about now. And that's the upset. Tennessee, 4th ranked Tennessee loses on the road to unranked Arkansas, which honestly, Arkansas could be 5-0. Arkansas blew the Oklahoma State game, like literally did with everything in their power to blow that game. Then Arkansas, 3 turnovers against Texas A&M, while being able to move the ball, blows the game against Texas A&M. 3 turnovers on the road. You can't have it. Tried to blow this game, in my opinion. They were able to move the ball up and down the field at will, just could not punch it in, turnover on downs, stuff like that. But they won nonetheless. Like I said, they were just able to move the ball up and down the field. They just were not able to finish drives. Tennessee in the first half could do nothing with this defense. Second half, found something with Dylan Sampson, but other than that, really couldn't do much either. But let's talk about it. Arkansas starts with a 20-yard field goal. Tennessee starts with a 3-and-out punt. Arkansas starts with a turnover, then has a turnover on downs, 4th and 1, pass for no gain, leads to a punt. Arkansas, a turnover on downs, 4th and 1, Taylor Green, no gain, leads to a 3-and-out punt. Arkansas would then miss a 44-yard field goal, leads to a turnover on downs, 4th and 7, passes incomplete, which will lead to halftime. Tennessee will start the second half with a 4-yard Dylan Sampson touchdown run, set up by Dylan Sampson, 53-yard run. Arkansas will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Then Tennessee will score another 4-yard Dylan Sampson touchdown run, set up by 2 defensive penalties. Arkansas will score 2 yards to Quentin Jackson touchdown run, set up by Andrew Armstrong, 26-yard catch, who he came alive in the second half. Arkansas will score a 23-yard field goal. Then with 1:17 left in the fourth quarter, Arkansas's Malachi Singleton will score a touchdown run, set up by Braylon Russell, 24-yard run. And Nico Iamaleava, what are you doing to end the ball game? He doesn't even throw the Hail Mary. He just runs out of bounds. 4th and 5, turnover on downs, run for 4 yards. Didn't even give his team a chance to possibly win. I don't get what the thought process was. It probably wasn't no thought process. I just don't get it. But that's your ball game. Oh yeah, by the way, Tylen Green did get hurt and did not return to the ball game. That's why Malachi Singleton was in the game. He didn't need bench. He just got hurt and didn't return. Hopefully he's okay. It's hard to get college news when it comes to injuries. But shout out to Arkansas. Great win at home in Fayetteville against 4th-ranked Tennessee, who I had nothing but good things to say about. But Tennessee just they didn't look great against offensively. They didn't look great against Oklahoma. Didn't look great against Arkansas. Are they fraudulent? I don't know. Now, this upset made me happy. I picked Washington to win, and they upset Michigan 27-17 because you know why. Michigan cannot pass the ball. They can't. And this is not me trolling. It is sad to see a D1 school of Michigan with the name of Michigan's caliber not be able to pass the ball. That's honestly mind-boggling to me that they can't pass the ball with that high of a stature of a name. And it's only been 1 year between the national championship year and this year. Like, it's been 1 year. They completely can't pass. It's been 3 weeks straight, and they can't pass. And they've honestly should have lost against USC, but Khalil Mullins broke that 60-something yard touchdown. Not touchdown run, 60-yard run. And then on 4th down, they got away with a holding. I told y'all they got away with a holding, but yeah, them not being able to pass the ball killed them this game. Washington, on the other hand, field goal kicker, yet again missing kicks. Now, the second one was blocked, but yet again he's missing kicks. Kind of sloppy football, but they were able to get the win nonetheless. Let's talk about it. Washington will start with a 41-yard field goal miss. Made me upset, but that would lead to a punt. Washington will score a 3-yard Denzel Boston touchdown catch set up by Giles Jackson 39-yard catch. With 9:38 left in the second quarter, Washington will score a 16-yard Giles Jackson touchdown catch set up by Cameron Davis 37-yard catch. Michigan will score a 39-yard Donovan Edwards touchdown run. Michigan will score a 45-yard field goal. Washington will have their 28-yard field goal blocked by Mason Graham before the half. Michigan will start the second half with a 8-yard Colston and Loveland touchdown catch set up by Marion Walker 22-yard catch. So they did end up benching Alex Orji. They benched him for Jack Tuttle, and he led a good drive, but that was it. Jack Tuttle led one good drive. Washington will start the second half with a punt. Then Washington will score a 28-yard field goal. Washington, Will Rogers will throw an interception. This kind of had me nervous. When he threw the pick, I'm like, my God, why do teams keep handing Michigan ball games? But when Will Rogers threw the pick, Jack Tuttle would fumble. And that fumble would lead to a 1-yard Jonah Coleman touchdown run. And then Jack Tuttle would throw a pick of his own, which would lead to a 32-yard field goal, and that'd be a ball game. Like I said, man, Michigan can't pass the ball. Washington did a decent job stopping the run. Gross, man. You got to work on these kicks. You got to work on these field goals. Cannot be consistently missing field goals. You were good last year. I don't know what happened between last year and this year, but you got to figure it out. Got to figure it out for Washington. But we're going to move on to somewhat defensive game. Duke at Georgia Tech. I did pick Georgia Tech to beat Duke. And Georgia Tech won 24-14. Georgia Tech will start with a 2-yard Zach Pyron touchdown run set up by Eric Singleton, 40-yard kickoff return. Duke will start with a punt. With 10:02 left in the second quarter, Georgia Tech scores a 23-yard field goal. And with 26 seconds left in the second quarter, Duke scores a 20-yard Eli Pankel touchdown catch set up by defensive pass interference. Duke starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Georgia Tech starts the second half with a punt. Duke turning one down, 4th and 1. Star Thomas run for a 1-yard loss, leads to a 3-and-out punt. Duke would then score a 65-yard Samir Hagens touchdown catch. Georgia Tech will respond with a 3-yard Jamal Haynes 3-yard touchdown catch set up by Chad Alexander 17-yard run. Then they will score again with a 9-yard Eric Singleton Jr. touchdown catch set up by Chad Alexander 22-yard run. And Duke will miss a 43-yard field goal, which will lead to a punt. And then Malik Murphy will throw a pick, which will lead to the end of the ball game. Like I said, man, this was a defensive ball game. Georgia Tech offense, while they put up 24 points, which is kind of like their norm, they kind of were held in check. Duke, they did their thing defensively as always. They just got to get consistent offense. Duke has to find some consistent offense. Jordan Moore, he's a good piece at receiver. Eli Pankel's a decent piece there. But Ashton Hawkins is on Baylor, excuse me. It's just, man, they got to find something. They got to figure something out consistently on offense. I understand, Carl, they were like, Carl, they were 5-0. Still, offensively is not consistent where it needs to be. Duke, yet again, is relying on defense this year. But great win for Georgia Tech. Brent Key and the boys are now 4-2, 2 games away from another bowl appearance. We're going to move on to a crazy game. Now, I picked Miami to beat Cal. Cal should have won this game. Miami, I said I wondered how Miami would do against this Cal defense, and at first it looked scary, it looked bad. But Cam Ward and the boys figured something out midway through the third quarter, especially with Xavier Restrepo. He figured something out with Xavier Restrepo midway through the third, and that helped them spark the amazing 25-point comeback for the win against Cal on the road to avoid upset week, because everybody thought Miami going to just join the upsets, join the club. But they figured out a way to come back and avoid that. Like I said, they win 39-38. It's funny. Everybody got the picture of Michael Irvin on all fours circulating. That was funny. But let's get into the game. Miami will start with a punt. Cal will start with a 3-and-out punt. Miami will score a 3-yard Mark Fletcher touchdown run, set up by Mark Fletcher 28-yard run. Cal will score a 57-yard Jack Andrews touchdown catch, set up by Corey Dyche's 15-yard catch. Miami would then turn the ball over on downs, 4th and 2. Elijah Arroyo 1-yard catch would lead to a 5-yard Jaden Ott touchdown run, which, by the way, they did an extraordinary job against Jaden Ott on the ground. Jaden Ott didn't do anything on the ground against these boys. He did a good job. He did a good job in the air, but on the ground did nothing. Miami would then score a 46-yard field goal. Cal would score a 66-yard Jaden Ott touchdown catch. Cal would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt, while Miami would start the second half with a pick 6 to Noah Williams. Cal will score a 9-yard Chandler Rogers touchdown run, shout out North Texas, which would set up by Javion Thomas, 56-yard catch. They gave up 4 50-yard passing plays, which is crazy. 4 50-yard passing plays. Then Miami's Damian Martinez scores a 1-yard touchdown run set up by Samuel Brown, 16-yard catch, and the 2-point would be good. Cal will score a 37-yard field goal to go up 20, and then Miami will rattle off 3 straight touchdowns. First one, an 18-yard Isaiah Horton touchdown catch set up by Xavier Restrepo, 21-yard catch. Second one, 24-yard Cam Ward run set up by Xavier Restrepo, 13-yard catch. And the final one, a 5-yard Elijah Arroyo touchdown catch set up by a 77-yard Xavier Restrepo touchdown catch. 77-yard catch. Basically a full verts. Wide receiver 3 to the defense. Caught up a crosser, and I think he got gassed at the end. He should have took that to the crib. And then Frankie Mendoza would immediately throw a pick, and that would lead to the end of the game. Yeah, like this comment said, Cal choked. Should have kept their foot on the pedal. Yeah, they choked for sure. I think they choked as well. And I think what helped Miami, they eliminated those 50-yard passes, the 50-yard plays. Like, if you look at Cal's offense beyond those 50-yard plays, they had a couple 20-yard plays. But for real, those 50-yard plays killed Miami and gave Cal all those points. Once they stopped that, Cal really couldn't do much. And it allowed Miami the chance to come back and win the game. So shout out Miami to avoid upset week. Shout out Miami to get a dub. And you're now ranked 6th because of it. So congrats to y'all. But we'll move on to the final game that I had previewed for y'all, which is Texas Tech at hold on. The offense got very conservative second half. Yes. No, I wouldn't even say second half. I would say before the field goal, the offense got conservative. Before that field goal, I feel like midway through the third, that's when it kind of got conservative. We'll go to the last game, which I picked Texas Tech in this upset. I picked Texas Tech to beat Arizona because Arizona defense, in my opinion, stinks. It's not good. I'm sorry. It's not. And Texas Tech won. Now, I was full spoiler alert because major performances are coming up soon. Taj Brooks will not be under major performance, and you might be thinking because he had 3 touchdowns, 100-something yards, he has to be. He's not because he fumbled twice. That is literally the reason why I cannot put him there. He fumbled twice, which is uncharacteristic of Taj Brooks. He's not under major performers, but nonetheless, great game. Tatoya McMillan will be because he fumbled once. If he would have fumbled once, he'd have been in it, but he fumbled twice. That's like if you throw a pick, I'll still give you leeway. But if you throw 2 picks, 3 picks, I can't do it. I can't. So, Texas Tech wins 28-22. Jumped out to a huge lead. Did allow Arizona to come back. But again, that defense is not holding a 1-point, 2-point lead. So Texas Tech was able to rally. Now, Tatoya McMillan did have a huge fumble in that. But, yeah, Texas Tech won the game. Nonetheless, let's talk about it, and then we'll get to major performance because main show comes on in about an hour. I still got to preview this game tonight. Texas Tech will start with a 3-and-out punt. Arizona will start with a punt. With 5:38 left in the first quarter, Texas Tech scores a 3-yard Taj Brooks touchdown run set up by Michael Hudson, 38-yard catch. Arizona will score a 47-yard field goal. Arizona turnover on downs. 4th and 1, Quali Conley, no gain, leads to a punt. Arizona, Noah Fafita, interception, leads to a 4-yard Taj Brooks touchdown run. 2-point is good. Noah Fafita will throw another interception, leading to a 30-yard field goal. Arizona starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Texas Tech starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Arizona scores a 40-yard field goal, while Texas Tech will score. Taj Brooks would fumble, leading to a 30-yard field goal. Arizona will score a 3-yard Quali Conley touchdown run set up by Tatoya McMillan, 40-yard catch. Texas Tech's Taj Brooks would fumble again, leading to a 37-yard field goal. The Arizona would miss a 48-yard field goal, leading to a 41-yard field goal of Texas Tech. And then Tatoya McMillan would fumble, leading to a 32-yard Taj Brooks touchdown run. Arizona will score a 52-yard field goal, but not get the onside kick, which will lead to the end of the ball game. And we're going to go over upsets of the week first, and then we're going to go over major performers. So let me get to upsets this week. Upsets this week. Friday night, we already talked about it. You had Syracuse 44, UNLV 41 in overtime on the road. So UNLV lost at home. Next, we got number 11, USC loses on the road at Minnesota, 24-17. Now, PJ Fleck, he's a very ballsy individual because on 4th and goal from the ones, tied at 17 with 50-something seconds left, he decides to go for it. And he runs a tush push, and he gets it. But that could have very well easily not been converted. But I feel like he said, all right, cool. If we don't get it, they'll be backed up at their own end zone. They don't got to go 99 because it's tied, so they probably got to go about 60, 70 yards to be comfortable in college football range. But we could possibly get a safety in it that way. But he scored a touchdown nonetheless, won the game. Talked about this one already. 4th-ranked Tennessee loses on the road to Arkansas 19-14. Number 1, Alabama loses 35-40 on the road to Vandy. Diego Pavetta and Eli Stewart looked unstoppable against these boys. Every time they needed a third down, either one of those two was a part of the first down. Cedric Alexander had a pretty good game as well, but it was really on the shoulders of Diego Pavia and Eli Stowers. SMU loses 34-27 to Louisville. 22nd, SMU beats 22nd ranked Louisville 34-27. And then number 9, Mizzou loses on the road to 25th ranked Texas A&M 41-10. So those are your upsets this week. Now on to major performers. Before I give y'all Tuesday night preview, major performers. So let me key this cheering noise up. Boom, boom. So major performance, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 performers to go over this week. List is getting kind of long. All right, so first, we have Quentin Skinner. 2 touchdowns. Second, we have Cam Scatterbo, running back, Arizona State, 25 carries, 182 and a touchdown. Texas A&M's running back, Le'Veon Moss, 12 carries, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ja'Cory Brooks, wide receiver, Louisville, 3 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Eli Holstein, quarterback, pick, 25 of 42, 381 yards, 3 touchdowns, a pick, 10 carries, 76 yards, and another touchdown on the ground. We got Desmond Reed, running back, pick, 18 carries, 55 yards, 11 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown. Really got it because of through the air. 11 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown for a running back is crazy. Next, we have Nate McCullum, wide receiver, UNC, 10 catches, 128 yards. Curtis Rourke, quarterback, Indiana, 25 of 33, 380 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Eli Stowers, tight end, Vanderbilt, 6 catches, 113 yards. Diego Pavia, quarterback, Vanderbilt, 16 of 20, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, 20 carries, and 56 yards. Ashton Henty, running back, Boise State, 13 carries, 186 yards, and 3 touchdowns. All, by the way, in the first half. He was sat the second half. He was benched in the second half. So that is insane. We have Dylan Sampson, running back, Tennessee, 22 carries, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Andrew Armstrong, wide receiver, Arkansas, 9 catches, 132 yards. Darius Taylor, running back, Minnesota, 25 carries, 144 yards, 5 catches, 56 yards. So, 200 yards total. Woody Marks, 20 carries, 134 yards, a touchdown, 4 catches for 30 yards, USC. Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver, Miami, the U, 7 catches, 163 yards. Tutoria McMillan, 8 catches, 161 yards, wide receiver out of Arizona. Tyler Huff, quarterback, Jacksonville State, 16 to 25, 193 yards, 15 carries, 176 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the quarterback at Jacksonville State. Ray Stewart, running back, Jacksonville State, 24 carries, 134 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Aronde Gazin, tight end, Syracuse, 10 catches, 142 yards. LeQuint Allen, running back, Syracuse, 19 carries, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 catches, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. 4 total touchdowns. Jordan James, running back, Oregon, 24 carries, 166 yards, and a touchdown. And those are your major performers for the week. That would be it for my recap. On to tonight's game. Tonight's game, we have Conference USA weekday is back. And we're going to start off with FIU at Liberty. I did write it. Liberty is 16.5-point favorites going into this one. All right, let me do this. You can catch this game in 55 minutes on CBSN, CBS Sports Network. FIU, they got to stop the run. Liberty's always was going to be under, why am I blanking on the former head coach? Coastal Carolina's name, Jamie Chadwell. Under Jamie Chadwell is always going to be a running first team. FIU got to stop the run. They got to prepare to stop the option because they love to run the option with Quentin Cooley, Billy Lucas. I think Aaron Bedgood's still there. Let me double check. I think he's still there though. But they love to run the option with those guys. Nope, Aaron Bedgood is gone. So he's not there, but they love to run the option nonetheless. Prepare to stop the op. Oh, about to read that again. Feed Keon Owens, the running back. He's probably FIU's best player in my opinion. So you gotta feed him the ball. You gotta bracket Trayon Sibley if it ever goes to the air. He's he's the threat when it comes to the passing game for Liberty. And you got to put Liberty offense behind the chains. Got to get them off schedule. Now, if you're Liberty, you just stay ahead of the schedule. Stay ahead of the chains on offense. Keep everything 3-4 plus yards. A heavy dose of Quentin Cooley and Billy Lucas. Quentin Cooley, what I say? Yeah, I would say Quentin Cooley is the best back in Conference USA. Pressure Keon Jenkins, the quarterback of FIU. Stop Keon Owens and score. Because if you run up the score against FIU, I do not think they will keep pace with Liberty. With that being said, I do pick Liberty to win. I think Liberty is just head and shoulders the better team. And Liberty is looking to repeat in Conference USA yet again. FIU, I would say they're probably mid to low tier as Conference USA team. They're not going to be able to score with FIU. With Liberty. They might be able to put some drives together, but I ultimately see in this game being a blowout, at least 2 touchdowns or more. So I will pick Liberty to win the game tonight. And that's all I got for y'all tonight. And like I said, the main show will be tonight at 7. In about 50 minutes, I will be on there. Y'all enjoy. We got the World Series going on right now. Mets up 1-0 to the Phillies. Come on, Phillies. I took y'all first 5 money line, so I need y'all to do something. I think we're going into the 4th inning. We got the WNBA semifinal game 5. Lynx Sun tied 2-2. Winner goes on to face the Liberty for the championship. We got college football tonight, and then we got the Padres and the Dodgers at 9:00. So y'all enjoy these sports we got. I will be back either tomorrow morning or maybe possibly later tonight to preview Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's right, you heard me correct. Got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday college football mixed in what you already know is Saturday. So we got football all this week. Just can't wait. Gotta love it. But I'm gone. I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.